Hey, what's up, you guys? So, as a bit of a disclaimer, I do apologize that I haven't uploaded anything in a while. Um, Half of it has been me just being busy in general, and then the other half has more so just been like lack of interest, and I kind of just like, if I do play, I sort of just play just for playing, and that's it. Not so much for like uploading content. Honestly, I have no idea what my next videos would be or anything like that, or when I'm gonna upload like sets or anything of that sort, if even anything like that. But all that stuff aside, this is sort of just like for fun that I'm doing. Just because, like I mentioned, I haven't really been playing Injustice all that much, like Injustice 2. Like, I think the game is just it is in a sense stale, in a sense that a lot of it, like, you get rewarded for making good decisions and you get rewarded for making bad decisions at the same exact time. So it kind of like it takes away from a lot, in my opinion. Like with a lot of characters, it's like the way that their moves behave. It's like, if you know what you're doing and that move hits, awesome, good for you. Like, like you get rewarded for it. But let's say you fuck up and let's say that move just misses, it has no recovery, so you're not going to get penalized for it. Or it's so fucking active that, let's say that same exact move hits behind you, it's just hitting like all over the place, it still hits the opponent, you get rewarded, even though you didn't know what you were doing. And it's just like, honestly, just a whole bunch of that stuff in general has just been such a turn off for me. And then it's like, I get on this game a lot because I clearly love Wonder Woman. Like, I love the character herself. Like, I like dressing her up, as you can see. Like, I legit have more fun just making loadouts. Not even for her, but like for everybody. That, like all the characters that I do use and I have gear for. Like, I enjoy making loadouts more than I actually enjoy playing the game. I spend more time making loadouts than I do playing the game. And the background for all of that, the reason why I'm mentioning all of that is because I recently just re-downloaded Injustice 1, simply just for nostalgia. Like, I'm not trying to get competitive or anything like that. I'm not trying to actually like have games or anything like that with Injustice 1. Like, I have my whole opinion list on that, my own thoughts on that, but it's really just, I got it because I missed how she was designed in the first game. And the purpose for this video and the reason why I'm making it is that if there is an Injustice 3, or honestly my opinion, like my thought process is if there's gonna be either like MK versus DC Part 2, I would actually kind of hope that they went that route. Just because I do enjoy what both games have to offer, what both rosters have to offer. And think that it would be like a cool mashup or whatever. But either way, either one of those, I would like a better Wonder Woman, because in the first game, she had, in my opinion, like a really amazing moveset. Like, she played really, really well. She felt like Wonder Woman for the most part. But at the same time, she had a lot of useless stuff. And at the same exact time, also, some of her stuff was just like so incredibly strong. I don't think that she was broke, but I think that she was like incredibly OP. Like, her damage was insane. She was honestly one of those characters that it's like, yeah, you needed to know what you were doing with her in specific matchups, but for like a huge chunk of it, you didn't need to be a good player to be good with Wonder Woman in the first game, because it was very similar to the way that a lot of the characters that are OP now are like, where it's like, you do a move on block, you're safe. If it hits, it launches. In her case, half of that stuff was plus at the same exact time, So it's like, you got rewarded either way, no matter what. So it's like, taking those things into consideration, this is like, again, this is just for fun. Like, it's not, it's not necessarily meant to be taken serious, but I would actually love it if somebody, like at NRS would like watch this or hear this out and actually take this into consideration and apply it to whatever next game Wonder Woman, will be in. So that's really the purpose for this. And I'll be jumping back and forth a bit. Like, this isn't gonna, it is gonna be a straight shot more or less, but it's gonna be jumping like the visual footage is going to be jumping from Injustice 2 to Injustice 1 just to show you guys like the visual examples. I do apologize a bit for my voice. It's like it's very hoarse right now. Like I kind of just woke up. So yeah, I guess to start off, before I actually go into the move list, it's like I like the way that they approached her in this game, in a sense of I like how strong she feels like when she gets hits going. I just don't like that they seem to have taken into account so much lore, so much background for literally every other character in the game except for her. And it's like there's so many contradicting things with her. This is jumping slightly, but it's like her back two, for example. It's like, okay, fine, let's say, quote unquote, it's not supposed to anti-air, you know, like, let's say that that's their reasoning, right? That's why it just goes through people and they can just jump right through it. The reason why I call bullshit on that is that there are so many moves in the game that are meant like neutral strings. They're just supposed to be used like in the neutral, but they have an aerial hitbox and they snag people out. Or they hit behind them. You know, it's like back 2 doesn't behave remotely like that at all. Even though it should, you know, at least in the sense of when it is touching people, it should at least hit them. So it's things like that. It's just certain things you can clearly tell are intentional, and the reasons why they don't get fixed, I will never understand, because honestly, they haven't given us a reason, you know. So it's like it's stuff like that, or it's like in a sense of contradicting. It's like everybody knows that Wonder Woman can fly. In comics, she can fly. In her animated shows, she can fly. In her animated movies, she can fly. In the very game story mode, she can fly. But yet she can't fly in the actual game itself. You know, it's stuff like that that make absolutely no sense whatsoever. It's stuff like that, and yet this isn't me hating. This is just trying to explain my reasoning. But it's like stuff like that makes absolutely no sense. It's like if the character can fly, give her an air dash. You know, like Enchantress. First of all, half of the people don't even know who Enchantress is. I didn't know who she was until the Suicide Squad movie. And I actually thought that that's how she looked like, and I expected her to look like that when she came into the game. And she looks like what she looks like now. And I was just like, shit, I don't even like this character. But it's like, she didn't deserve an air dash, and yet she got one. You know, it's like, certain characters, it doesn't really make sense for them. It's like it does and it doesn't. Characters like Firestorm, where it's like you have a character that can play up close, you have a character that controls the ground, you have a character that can zone, he has restance, he has 50-50s, he has all this stuff, and on top of that you're going to give him an air dash. You know, but yeah, you won't give a character, like with her playstyle, with her design, you won't give her an air dash. It's like, it's certain things like that. Even like Adam has an air dash. Of course, it's while he's in trait, but still. Hellboy has an air dash. Like, you know, it just, a lot of things just don't add up. It just doesn't make sense. So those are mainly like my critiques. But then it's also, I know this is a bit long, this is a bit lengthy before actually cutting into the video itself, into the content, but it's really, again, it's just for fun. So that's why I'm explaining my reasoning. It's stuff like in the Watchtower stream when they released Wonder Woman. They were like, okay, Wonder Woman and Harley, both of them in the same exact stream. Harley went first. They're like, okay, we didn't like a random trait, you know, like in competitive play, in a fighting game, whatever, randomness shouldn't be a factor. Everyone was like, oh yeah, cool, we agree with that because we hated the randomness. It's like cool if you got a dynamite, but it's like, you know, it's better if you had something that you can control. We're all in the same boat, no one wants randomness, okay, cool. 5 minutes later, hey, Wonder Woman's trait is entirely random. You do not get to choose. It's like, okay, so when is it that we start making sense, you know? There's just like a whole bunch of stuff like that. Like that shit just doesn't make sense to me. For the most part, I would keep the majority of lasso stance. I'm actually going to go through everything, so the video may be a little bit long. But again, it's just for fun. You don't even have to watch it. I don't really care. It's just for the people that are interested in this, that have like similar thoughts and whatever. Just because I know not too many people are actually happy with this design. You know, like, I'm happy in the sense that it's a viable design. She's a good character. Oh, excuse me. But I hate it that it does the actual Wonder Woman no justice whatsoever. So yeah, to start, I would keep most of Lasso's stance in general, like from Injustice 1. In terms, before I break down the moves, in terms of like movement and all that stuff, I actually like how she looks when she's standing. Like, I like how strong she looks. She looks incredibly strong. She looks powerful. She looks like she will wreck you, like, you know, like without giving it a second thought. And I like the stance itself. I think her walk speed is really good. Her back walk speed is amazing. Like, you can wave dash with her. The only problem that I have with this is her dash and her back dash. They're both very, very slow. Her back dash has a lot of recovery, and her back dash has this really stupid thing that you can see her legs sticking out when she's backdashing. You see, like, it's sticking out in front of her. The problem with this backdash is that if something touches that foot as she's backdashing, even though her body is all the way back there, she'll still get hit. So it's like, while her backdash is good in a sense that it covers a lot of space, she gets clipped a lot of the times, where in other situations, other backdashes will not be getting clipped because their backdashes aren't attached to their limbs like it is with her in most cases. Like, to list an example, like Fate, right? Like Fate, when he does forward 2 into his glyph, she technically can backdash that gap. Like, she is able to do it. The only problem why she gets hit by it either way, the reason why she gets hit by the glyph, is that one, the glyph is so active, but it's so active that while she's backdashing, because her leg and her foot, mainly her foot, because her foot is still sticking out and it makes contact with the glyph while it's still active, that's where she gets hit by it. So she can't backdash a lot of gaps in a lot of matchups simply because she gets clipped by her foot. Like, they're not actually touching her body, and that's one of the biggest issues with this game in general. It's just like the hurt boxes and the hit boxes of everything, it's literally all over the place. Like, it applies for some characters, it doesn't apply for some. It applies for some moves and then it doesn't apply for some. Like, it's nothing really, there's no genuine formula, I guess, you know, like, so to speak. So I would change it, or at least I would hope to change it, or at least kind of have like an infusion of the two, but preferably I would have the dashes of Injustice 1. So yeah, as you can see, you know, like, this is how she's in her floating stance. As you can see, the movement in this game, this isn't just her. The movement in this game was just like really, really bad. But her dash is really, really, really good. See, like, she doesn't cover as much space when she backdashes, but it's so instant, you know? Like, I would trade that in a heartbeat. I would be totally fine with that. It's like she gets out of the situation, you know, like, everything that's right in her face, she gets out of. Like, yeah, she has to recover a little bit, but that's the whole point of the backdash. Like, that's the whole point of a good backdash as to why you even want to use it in the first place. It's like, you want to get away from whatever it is that's happening to you, like any attack that's coming at you. Not, hey, let me backdash, let me get away with it, but let me stick my leg out, you know, while I'm doing so, and then my leg got hit, and oh, I guess I got hit too because of that. You know, like, it's not a good design. And then the forward dash, as you can see, like, it's so much better. Like, it covers a really good distance and it recovers quickly. Like, that's her dashing back and forward dash, that's a huge part as to what made her so good in this game. Like, it's just the mobility itself is really good. And then, of course, you know, like, bring back the air dash. As you can see, it doesn't cover that much range. Like, in Injustice 2, like, when the trait is active, it covers a lot more range. But I think it kind of makes it worse that it covers even more range. Because, like, trying to control all that range, like with an air dash of all things, and then the way that her jump-ins are set up, it's just really, really bad. But then I guess going into the jump-ins, so I would actually keep this one too. Like, look at this. Like, you can actually use this to cross up. Like, it actually has like good properties. This is her jump 1, by the way. You could even use it instantly and it would hit people. Obviously, it was all jump-ins were like overheads in this game. If this was Injustice 2, this would be a mid, which is totally fine. But it's like, it was just so much better, this jump-in, like this jump 1. Like, look at how active it was. As you can see. Like, you can actually use it like a viable jump-in, you know? And it had like its little cross-up properties. And then I think her jump 3 was honestly better also in this game. Because it's like... Well, this actually might have hit it in Injustice 3. I don't know. I can't decide which one was better, but they're more or less kind of the same. I just want to keep that consistency where if she does jump 3, see like this? Like if this was Injustice 2 and I did this, the lasso would go right through their body. Like this would not happen in Injustice 2. Like I wouldn't be able to hit them. Oh, okay. Spoke too soon. But it's really not that frequent at all. Like I can actually make this happen consistently in Injustice 2. But in this game I'm actually like, if I'm lucky, it just like kind of misses. And that's just because the whole lasso, as soon as you can visually see it, like it's active, you know. So yeah, that's that, like in terms of like the air dash, the jump-ins, the mobility. Yeah. But like her jump 2, I would actually keep it how it is here. Just because, you know, it would be different than her jump 1. Because like as you saw, like when I was showing with the Injustice 1 portion, it's literally the exact same thing. It's the same exact jump-in. It's just, it's a little bit slower and it does a little bit more damage. But this way it gives it, you know, like more utility.